Revenge films.
There was this gross guy at my college named Timothy. Timothy was already working, and he decided to come to college when he was 42 years old. He always wanted to be part of the college girls groups, and I have no idea where he gets his information, but he would invite himself to gatherings at bars when they were having a girls' night out. There were times when he even tried to invite himself over to the girls' houses and was shooed off. It wasn't like he dressed creepy or anything, but it wasn't like he was a handsome man. Just your ordinary old man. He claimed to be 30, but it was pretty obvious that he was lying. And he was an insensitive man, and no one really liked him. One time in class, I forgot what we were talking about, but my professor innocently exposed him on accident.
Huh? You're 42, right? It was on your papers. I remember because you're the same age as my younger sister.
He seemed confused as he pointed this out to Timothy, and that's how we all found out that he was lying about his age. Well, no one believed that he was 30 anyways, so we weren't very surprised. Everyone was just like, we knew it. Timothy tried to deny it, but...
Oh, because my sister is 42 also. Wait, sorry. Was it a secret that you're so much older than everyone else?
My professor kept pressing him with a straight face until Timothy finally admitted it. Timothy looked really upset that the professor exposed him and was glaring at him that entire day. But honestly, it's not like any of us were surprised. We were just shocked at his immature overreaction. Timothy was obviously out of his mind. When he found out about a guy that married a woman around his same age in his late 30s, he insulted him and called him a loser who married an old hag. Timothy was a businessman until he entered our college and bragged about how his parents were paying his tuition, and everyone who heard that was taken aback. We were all confused at how this guy could think that it was okay for a 42-year-old to have his parents pay for his college education. But he apparently thought it was something to be proud of. What a crazy person. I'd never spoken to him personally, but I wanted to stay as far away from this guy as possible.
Hey, you have a boyfriend?
Timothy would go around hitting on college girls and stare at his favorite girls' bodies with a creepy smile on his face. He never actually put his hands on anyone, but he would pretend to touch their breasts and butts. Everyone was creeped out by him. I would go as far as to say that he had the eyes of a pedophile. He would also bring snacks to his favorite girls, too. You may have imagined baked goods from a famous bakery or something that you line up for, but they were like the cheapest snacks that you could buy at a grocery store that Timothy bought. I mean, nothing against grocery store snacks, but there was even something off about the whole concept of giving gifts, even. It may have been at least a little exciting to receive a cupcake from a famous cupcake bakery, but it was almost impressive how he could hand a girl a cheap cupcake from a grocery store and act like he was a gentleman. Girls would refuse, saying that they were cutting back on sweets, but...
Don't worry about it. Don't be shy like that.
Everyone was always grossed out by his creepy smile. After that, if his favorite girls would get boyfriends, he would go nuts.
After all I did for you.
If there was a girl trying to buy a lunch ticket at the cafeteria,
Yeah, I got this.
and he would have that creepy, satisfied look on his face. By the way, the most expensive menu at our cafeteria was $5. If you ask me, it's nothing to act all smug about, and honestly, just creepy to have some old man pay for your lunch like that out of the blue. There was one time that this pretty European girl came as an exchange student, and I heard that she was creeped out when he tried to greet her with hugs and kisses. First of all, greeting people like that wasn't even part of her culture. And even if you were to greet someone with kisses, you would do it on the cheek. But apparently, he tried to kiss her on the lips. And if you thought that was creepy enough, when the girl refused, I heard he got angry and started using discriminatory language to yell at her. It seemed like Timothy was into young-looking, small and cute-looking girls that looked like middle school or high school girls. If he ever saw a college student who looked like one, he wasn't interested.
I would never sleep with an old hag like that.
He would insult them like that. Jeez, does this guy even see himself? If he was ever rejected by the girl that he had his eyes on at the time,
Aw, come on! We're classmates, you and I.
That's what he would try to say to convince them. Our faculty didn't have many students and had a very low ratio of males, so the PE classes were mixed. We stretched in pairs and it would require touching the other person, so it was normal for guys to pair up with other guys and girls to pair up with other girls. But one day, Timothy started saying that he wanted to pair up with a girl. It was the creepiest request ever. Everyone knew that he just wanted an excuse to touch another girl's body, so obviously, no one wanted to pair up with him. This angered Timothy.
Hey, this is school! One of you's required to pair up with me.
The PE teacher was younger than Timothy.
You can stretch with me or find another guy to pair up with. Your choice.
The teacher could tell that Timothy had bad intentions. He understood that it wasn't safe to let him pair up with one of the girls. After being yelled at by the teacher,
You old fart!
he yelled back and stopped coming to this PE class. The girls were very thankful for the teacher, though. We were all glad that he decided to stop coming. After this incident, our school changed its policy and separated the men and women PE classes starting next semester. The girls took PE classes with their faculty, and the guys had combined classes. Timothy never even looked at the other guys in his class, and it was obvious how mean he was to the girls in his class who had boyfriends. I don't think Timothy planned to ever befriend any of the boys. He was warned a couple of times by various teachers, but he never stopped. In fact, he just kept escalating. He started attacking the boys with girlfriends and started trying to get even closer with the girls. One such day, Timothy volunteered to be in charge of open campus, and he started hitting on one of the high school girls that came to check out the college. She must have been exactly Timothy's type.
You have a boyfriend?
She didn't, so he got excited and found her high school and went to see her. That was enough to call him a stalker, but he approached her and tried to force her into a room by himself, saying that he wanted to explain to her how good the college was. Luckily, her friend was there to save her. But he couldn't give up on her and found out where she worked and followed her around until finally the police got involved. What's worse, he was telling the people around her that they had met at an open campus and were dating now. He was lying that he was her boyfriend. He was using that as an excuse to collect information on her, but it was pretty obvious how old he was. It probably would have made more sense if he had introduced himself as a professor rather than a student. So rumors spread pretty quickly, and the girl found out and got the police involved. She filed a complaint, and Timothy was arrested. After his arrest, he must have finally felt like he lost his place in the college because he shut himself in his parents' house and stopped coming. There are many people in college from different backgrounds, and it's not out of the ordinary for someone to quit. Usually, something like this wasn't much of a topic, but when Timothy left, we were all excited for a while. We all celebrated for a while. Timothy had a very short temper, so not everyone could come forward while he was still there. But many girls came forward saying how he showed up to their houses when they were having girls' nights. Timothy was gone now, but the rumor is that the police have received multiple reports like the high school girls' case.